Here are the top stories for today, February 14, 2020. A floral designer showcases his Valentine's Day floral bouquet collection at his shop in Baguio City. President Duterte asked for Filipinos' trust in government and cooperation in containing the spread of the coronavirus disease. Senator Grace Poe is seeking probe of ABS-CBN's compliance of existing franchise. And Major General Antonio Parlades said he finds nothing malicious in exposing communist front groups. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Today is February 14, Valentine's Day, and definitely love is in the air, and so is the coronavirus disease. In Baguio City, a floral designer is inspired to think outside the box in selling items popular on Valentine's Day. Floral designer Antonius Paulite thought of including sanitary and healthcare products in flower bouquets he sells. Calling it the Care Bouquet, Paulita said the continuous threat of the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 inspired him to innovate. The Care Bouquet includes alcohol, hand sanitizers, face mask, cotton, tissue, and sanitary pads embedded alongside the flowers. The price ranges from 1,500 pesos to 3,500 pesos depending on the items included, while ordinary floral bouquets range from 250 to 1,500 pesos. Love lock is a romantic symbol which is often inscribed with names or initials of sweethearts. In San Jose del Monte City in Bulacan, a love lock repository called Rising Heart was launched in celebration of Valentine's Day. A love padlock is a padlock that sweethearts lock to a bridge, fence, gate, or similar structure and throw away the key to seal their inseparable love. The idea here is that the only way to break their love is finding the key and unlock the love lock. You don't have to fly out of the country just to attach symbolically laden padlocks on famous bridges. San Jose del Monte City's Rising Heart marker is a viable and sustainable alternative than the traditional bridge locking practices across Paris, the United States, and Japan, which can pose structural and environmental risks. The establishment of the Love Lock marker is the city's bid to be part of the UNESCO Creative Cities Network. The Rising Heart marker and Love Lock repository is located along Barranca Road in Barangay Paradise 3 in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, which is a hilly area that offers an unobstructed view of nearby cities, Padre Pio and Manila Bay. In other news, the Department of Labor and Employment has requested the Department of Health to reconsider its decision on the travel ban for OFWs to Taiwan. The DOH has recommended Taiwan's inclusion on the list of areas covered by a travel ban amid the coronavirus disease outbreak. DOLE has sought to lift the travel ban as it affects Filipinos who live and work in the island nation. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III said the agency is ready to assist affected OFWs. Those who are members of the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or OWA are entitled to receive 10,000 pesos financial assistance. OWA also provides stranded OFWs with accommodation, food, and transportation assistance. The number of Filipinos on board a quarantine ship in Japan who tested positive for the coronavirus disease has climbed to 11. According to DFA, all of them are now confined in various hospitals in and around the Tokyo area. The embassy remains in constant communication with the affected Filipinos in the hospitals and noted that they are responding well to treatment. The embassy, in coordination with the Japanese government, is sending care packages containing toiletries and non-medical supplies to the infected Filipinos, as well as those who remain on board the Diamond Princess. An embassy team also visited the hospitals on Thursday afternoon to speak with the doctors and social workers assigned to the Filipino patients in order to ensure their well-being. Following the sharp rise in confirmed cases worldwide, President Rodrigo Duterte asked for Filipinos' trust in government and cooperation in containing the spread of the coronavirus disease. Duterte said the government, together with the World Health Organization, medical societies, and partners in private sectors, are addressing the problem and preparing for any eventuality. He also assured Filipinos staying in China that the government is prepared to repatriate them anytime they wanted to return home.
To my fellow Filipinos, today we face the very grave threat of the novel coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19. As of now, there are only 3 confirmed cases of COVID-19 infection. None of those infected is a Filipino national. Yung mga impormasyon na importante na manggaling sa WHO ay ating pakinggan at huwag makinig dyan sa mga haka-haka. I call on our people to remain calm, vigilant, responsible, and I also ask your trust and cooperation. Support as we face the challenge. Tayo ay magkaisa, together as one nation. This challenge can be overcome.
Still to come, Senator Grace Poe is seeking probe of ABS-CBN's compliance of existing franchise. And Major General Antonio Parlades said he finds nothing malicious in exposing communist front groups. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Kini ang Duterte on duty. Mga balita ang hatod ni Presidente. Enero 27, Lunes, Malacanang. Nag-farewell call kay Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte si outgoing New Zealand Ambassador to the Philippines David Strawn. Enero 29, Miyerkules, Quezon City. Mitambong si Presidente Duterte sa ika-69 founding anniversary sa Department of Social Welfare and Development. Pebrero 3, Lunes, lungsod sa Maynila. Gipanguluhan sa Commander-in-Chief ang change of command ceremony sa Philippine Navy.
As the Philippine Navy sails towards under a new leadership, I trust that you, the officers and personnel of our Navy, will rally behind your incoming flag officer in command, Rear Admiral Giovanni Carlo Bacardo.
Malacanang. Mipahigayon og usa ka media briefing mahitungod sa mga lakang sa gobyerno ngadto sa hulga nga dala sa 2019 novel coronavirus.
Everything is well in the country. There's nothing really to be extra scared of that coronavirus thing. And in the Philippines, we only have 2 cases, but they were Chinese, just imported. Hindi galing dito. It was not a native of the Philippines.
Pebrero 4, Martes, Malacanang. Gitigom sa presidente ang iyang gabinete para hisgutan ang mga importante nga isyu nga gatubangon sa nasod karon. Pebrero 6, Huwebes, Malacanang. Nanumpa sa presensya sa presidente ang mga bagong opisyal sa gobyerno. Taguig City. Nagpadangat og pahasubo si Presidente Duterte ngadto sa pamilya sa healing priest nga si Father Fernando Suarez. Ako si Secretary Martin Andanar. Og kini ang Duterte on duty. At tangi sa sulod nga semana ang mga sunod pang mga pagabuhaton sa Pangulo.
Senator Grace Poe on Thursday said she is pushing for a Senate probe on the alleged franchise violations of ABS-CBN Corporation. Poe said this is part of the Senate's oversight function over any franchise and not just ABS-CBN as mandated by the Constitution and the Senate rules. In a quo warranto petition filed last Monday, the Office of the Solicitor General claimed that ABS-CBN violated the constitutional ban on foreign ownership and went beyond the scope of its legislative franchise for broadcasting for a fee, among others. Senator Grace Poe filed Senate Resolution 322, which initiates the discussion of her panel on the compliance of ABS-CBN with the terms and condition of its franchise and to allow all parties to air their side. Senate President Vicente Soto III and Senator Sherwin Gatchalian supported Poe's initiative. Soto said the Senate probe may also be a way for Poe to speed up the process if the network's franchise reaches the Senate. For Senator Gatchalian, the planned Senate probe could serve as a neutral ground to discover and analyze whether or not the allegations against the network are true. Meanwhile, Malacanang said ABS-CBN can apply for a new license to operate in the event that its 25-year legislative franchise is nullified. ABS-CBN only has until March 30 to operate unless it is granted another franchise renewal by Congress and President Duterte. Members of the Department of Justice prosecution panel on Thursday said they are confident that the case they filed against former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV and several others for conspiracy to commit sedition is strong. Trillanes and several others were accused by the PNP-CIDG of manufacturing propaganda online against President Duterte and the First Family weeks preceding the senatorial elections in May last year. The panel, who cleared a number of the other respondents, including Vice President Leni Robredo and other opposition figures, said pieces of evidence, including the testimony of whistleblower Jomel Advincula, also known as Bicoy, was their sole consideration in coming out with a resolution. Another panel member, State Prosecutor Michael John Humarang, also said that being members of the opposition does not automatically mean that they will be included in the charge. The panel said prosecutors who may be assigned to handle the case in court are not precluded from utilizing other evidences which might come out after the preliminary investigation, including other witnesses who can corroborate. Southern Luzon Command Chief Major General Antonio Parlade Jr. on Thursday said he finds nothing malicious in the government's doing everything in its authority to expose CPP-front organizations. Parlade was reacting to Ibon Foundation's claim that he and two other ranking government officials maliciously abused their authority and are negligent in their duties by allegedly red-tagging the research group. Parlade also disputed the group's claims that they are nationalistic and promoting patriotism on the grounds that they are allegedly promoting Italian priest Father Fausto Tenorios alias Father Pops as a national hero and responsible for converting more than 700 indigenous people's children in Cotabato into the ranks of the New People's Army, or NPA. Captured documents from Vicente Ladlad, a CPP Central Committee member, show that more than 8,000 child recruits in Anakbayan have been radicalized through Ibon's teachings. According to Parlade, 31 children in Butuan involved in armed conflict aged 12 and above have been victimized by the CPP through its front organizations like Ibon. A town mayor in South Cotabato Province reported on Wednesday that he has received death threats from alleged members of the New People's Army. Tampacan Mayor Leonard Escobillo II posted on his Facebook account a copy of a text message supposedly coming from the NPA's far south Mindanao region, declaring that he had been meted the death penalty by the rebels, Hukumang Bayan, or People's Court for acts against the masses. The text message accused the mayor and his cousin Alvin Castellanes of allegedly killing innocent people, involvement in the illegal drug trade, and engaging in land grabbing in barangays Pula Bato, and Lampitak using a private army. Escobillo, however, brushed aside the threat as well as the accusations, which he described as baseless and purely fabricated. He said the text message was just a part of a series of threats that he had received for more than a week from at least 3 mobile numbers and even a fake Facebook account. Escobillo said the authorities were already following some leads on the possible suspects, but declined to provide further details pending the ongoing investigation. He said he was not affected by the threat and would just continue to serve his constituents. In Surigao del Norte, residents have been hailed for helping avert another atrocity of the Communist New People's Army after reporting the presence of guerrillas in their barangay. The Army's 30th Infantry Battalion said they immediately acted on the civilian tip-off, resulting in an encounter in Barangay Tulingon, Mainit on the morning of the same day. The 10-minute clash forced the NPA rebels to abandon their position, leaving behind a backpack containing personal belongings. Village residents declared the NPA and its mother organization, the Communist Party of the Philippines, persona non grata or unacceptable in the barangay late last year. 30 IB Commander Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey A. Villarosa aid such declaration by villagers themselves has limited the mobility of the NPA in almost all barangays in Surigao del Norte. A total of 169 barangays in the Caraga region already declared the NPA as persona non grata in 2019. Up next, traffic enforcers will soon go after illegal habal-habal terminals and unregistered riders. And the country's premier bike fest returns to Baguio City after nearly 3 years of absence. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Ang mga bata ay hindi laruan na panlibangan at lalong hindi sila kalakal na dapat pagkakitaan. Labag ito sa Anti-Child Pornography Act of 2009 o ang RA 97751, Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 o RA 9208 at Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 o ang RA 10175. Maaaring makulong ng hindi bababa sa 20 taon o masintensyahan ng reklusyon perpetua ang lalabag dito.
The government will soon conduct a crackdown against habal-habal terminals and unregistered motorcycle taxis operating outside the 3 approved motorcycle taxi transport network companies. In a press conference on Thursday, MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia warned that the agency's enforcers, as well as that of other law enforcement agencies, will close all habal-habal terminals or terminals of unregistered motorcycle taxis without an online presence. Safety concerns are the primary reason for the crackdown. Aside from habal-habal terminals, traffic enforcers will also apprehend unregistered motorcycle taxis, including those from Angkas, Move It, and Joyride. All motorcycle taxi platforms blatantly operating without approval and without following the technical working group's guidelines may face blacklisting by the end of the study period. An online motorcycle taxi booking platform, Sampa, is cited as one of the blatant violators of the pilot study for operating without approval from the TWG. Moreover, Garcia also recommends that motorcycle taxis be banned from using Metro Manila's major roads such as EDSA due to the inherent dangers faced by motorcycles loaded with passengers in busy thoroughfares. Garcia said even if riders and passengers are required to wear safety gear such as helmets, knee pads, and others, accidents that could occur at high speed and busy roads would result in tragedy for motorcycle taxis. In a bid to improve education in the remote areas, the Education Department reached out to schools in Lanao del Norte, providing them with materials for the students. Betchy Paculba filed this story.
DepEd Lanao del Norte strengthens programs in Munay and Tangkal. Widening the scope of education and strengthening its programs and services, the Department of Education Division of Lanao del Norte visited schools in Munay and Tangkal. Along with the good news in adding more school buildings and augmenting teaching force in the town, DepEd in partnership with Alagang Kapatid Foundation Incorporated also distributed 416 pairs of slippers with pencils and notebooks to Tamparan Primary School, Camp Bilal, and Pangao Elementary School. DepEd also provided 128 pairs of slippers and school supplies to Camp Bilal 2, Big Banisilon Integrated School, and Beruar Elementary School in Tangkal, Lanao del Norte.
Kami rin po napunta dito, may konti po kaming dala dito na sana makatulong sa inyong pag-aaral. Sa ngayon, yan lang po, Commander, ang nadala namin. Pero hahanap pa rin po kami ng ibang mga paraan para makabalik po kami ulit dito at magdala na po ng kahit kunting tulong man lang para mapaayos ang ating pag-aaral dito sa ating kampo.
DepEd targets to serve 83 learners in Camp Bilal to avail the basic literacy program aimed at eradicating illiteracy among out-of-school youths and adults, developing basic literacy skills of reading, writing, and numeracy, and the accreditation and equivalency program where school dropouts are able to complete elementary and high school education outside the formal school system.
Sa susunod na generation, sila naman ang magtuturo. Pagkatapos, paano po mabigyan ng alam ang mga kabataan natin kung ang mga headset natin, mga iba-iba dyan ay iba ang ginagawa. Ito naman dito sa area ng Lanao del Norte, lalo na sa Munay, ang alam ko po, sila po ay nag-sacrifice, maski na walang sasakyan, pumupunta sila sa eskwelahan. Yung mga maestra diyan sa Linining, maski na walang sasakyan, pumupunta rin pa rin sila. Maski na walang building, tinuturan pa rin mga bata doon sa mga bahay. Dahil ang gusto po ng mga dito sa amin sa Lanao del Norte, matuto ang ating mga kabataan, makapag-aral. Dahil kung makapag-aral, mas kinaano kung gusto niya, ay pwede po niya kunin.
DepEd Division of Lanao del Norte visited Camp Bilal, Tamparan Primary School, Pangao Elementary School, Tambo Elementary School, and Munay National High School in Munay Town. In Tangkal, the team visited the elementary and integrated schools in Lindungan, Sumiorang, Tangkal Proper, Beruar, Banisilon, Tangkal, Banisilon, and Sultan Lumabao.
For PNA Newsroom, Betchy Paculba, Philippine Information Agency, Cagayan de Oro.
And in sports, Japan is not considering cancellation or postponement of the 2020 Summer Olympic Games over the outbreak of a new coronavirus. Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Organizing Committee Chief Yoshiro Mori on Thursday confirmed that the 2020 Summer Olympics will be held in Tokyo from July 24 to August 9. According to the official, the organizers will work with the government and respond calmly to any problems related to the epidemic. Japan has registered more than 200 confirmed cases of the new coronavirus, including 218 people on board of the Diamond Princess cruise ship quarantined in Yokohama. Meanwhile, the country's premier bike fest returns to Baguio City after nearly 3 years of absence. This year's Ronda Pilipinas will start in Sorsogon on February 23 and will end in Vigan, Ilocos Sur on March 4. Baguio would be the finish line for the 8th leg of the 10-stage bikeathon. The Baguio leg will start in Nueva Ecija on March 2nd and pass through Pangasinan before entering La Union and Benguet via Marcos Highway or Aspiras Palispis Road. The bikers will go down to Pugo, La Union the next day for the trek to Vigan, Ilocos Sur for Stage 10 on March 4. Race organizers said it would be an all-Filipino tournament with 11 teams, unlike last year when Spanish Francisco Mancebo of Matrix Power Tag won the event. The winner will get 1 million pesos in the event backed by the Manny V. Pangilinan Foundation. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. A floral designer showcases his Valentine's Day floral bouquet collection at his shop in Baguio City. President Duterte asked for Filipinos' trust in government and cooperation in containing the spread of the coronavirus disease. Senator Grace Poe is seeking probe of ABS-CBN's compliance of existing franchise. And Major General Antonio Parlades said he finds nothing malicious in exposing communist front groups. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.